Elsa, thanks so much for joining us. First, I want to talk about the numbers. This started out quite big back in 2017. The images that we've seen, the numbers have become smaller. There were some issues, as Toby mentioned, in past years. But do you think this means that there's perhaps that some of the anger against Donald Trump has dissipated, or is it for other reasons?
Never. The anger towards this administration will never disappear. But what has disappeared is sort of a unity between a bunch of coalitions and organizers that came together and collaborated on a women's march that wanted to hold our president accountable and to highlight what women are doing and what we can be doing. I think that is what has disappeared, but never will our anger against what is going on disappear.
This has transformed into a movement, despite some of its challenges. What would you say has been an achievement of the movement, or perhaps some of its successes?
In 2017, the Women's March was one of the biggest protests ever in U.S. history. Just by achieving that simple fact is life-changing, is history-changing. By creating this movement, we've created a space where women can exist, and we can show that women belong in politics. Not only do we belong in politics, but if we're not there, what are we doing? We need to see, women need to be here, and this movement has just created a space where we can be there. I can be 17 and I can go march. I may not be able to vote, but now I have an outlet to express myself and to demand my rights. And so that is something that we have gained.
As someone who participated in 2017 and again today, what was the feeling like? Was it the same? Has it changed for you personally?
When I went to the first Women's March, I was just organizing. I was 17 years old. I was just figuring out how I wanted to organize, what I was interested in, and it was the first time that I had seen so many people mobilize for one thing. And so I was electrified and I was inspired. And maybe our numbers have changed, but the energy is still there. The energy that I felt a few years ago, I felt today outside.
You're a climate activist, and the movement has been gaining a lot of attention, the climate change movement. Is there room for a merging of these causes?
Yes. Without women, we can't do anything. Women are 50% of this population, meaning they're 50% of the solution to any issue that we have. And a big issue we have is climate change, and if we're not solving it with women, we're not solving this issue at all.
There were males out there. What role can men play in a women's movement?
Men have privilege. Men can acknowledge their privilege, and men can use their privilege to support other women in what they're doing and to make space and make us think and criticize what's wrong with our culture that we need to have a march to acknowledge what is going on in our country. Why do we have to organize all of this just so we can have some semblance of good in this country? What can you, as a man, what can you do yourself? Who can you talk to?
Did you get a sense of how women are going to vote in 2020? This is an election year. Does a ticket have to have a woman somewhere on there in order to get women out to vote?
No. At the end of the day, women vote on issues, but we do need representation. I would love to see a woman on this ballot, but at the end of the day, I'm voting on issues that matter to me, and I'm voting on making sure that the next 4 years, I'm not waking up terrified to the news every single day.
All right, Elsa Mengsitu, thank you so much for joining us. Climate activist and Women's March participant and organizer.
Thank you so much.